Hey guys, how's it going? This is Ujjwal from Tickertape, and welcome to the fifth episode in this webinar series on Intro to Tickertape. In this episode, we'll talk about a few pre-built screens and we'll take those examples using our screener. In the first three episodes, we talked about stocks, and in the previous episode, that is the fourth episode, we talked about the basics of screening. To watch those webinars, you can search for the Tickertape playlist on Zerodha's YouTube channel. ये इस वीडियो का इंग्लिश वर्जन है. हिंदी में इसी वेबिनार को सुनने के लिए डिस्क्रिप्शन में एक हिंदी वीडियो का लिंक दिया हुआ है, वहाँ पे चले जाइए. फॉर व्यूअर्स वॉचिंग दिस ऑन देयर मोबाइल, इफ समथिंग इज नॉट विजिबल, प्लीज इंक्रीज द क्वालिटी सेटिंग्स इन यूट्यूब. ऑलराइट, सो विद दैट डिस्क्लेमर आउट ऑफ द वे, लेट्स स्टार्ट. Let's start by going over to the Tickertape homepage like always, and let's go to Screener. So like we discussed last time, this is the basic default screen for Screener. I'll just very quickly recap what all we discussed in the last video for those who haven't seen this video, but I won't take a lot of time because if you want to see in more detail the basics of screening, you can go to the fourth episode in this webinar series. So just to recap, we add filters using this pop-up here. We can select whichever filters we want to add. These will appear in the filter pane on the left side. Each filter has its own setting. There are shortcuts provided with using which you can set the ranges for the filters, and accordingly the results will be populated in the results pane. There are different kinds of filters as detailed here, and there are sector selectors and stock universe selector as well if you want to restrict your result set to a particular list of stocks. And like we discussed, you can export your results as well if you want to do any offline analysis on your screen results. So that was a very brief recap, but as I said, if you want to go through whatever we discussed in the last webinar in detail, please go and watch the fourth episode in this series. Alright, so let's start. We discussed last time that whenever we want to start screening, we start with an idea or we start with a theme, right? A theme can be of different kinds, depending on what you want to screen for, depending on what kind of ideas you are trying to emulate in a screener. So what we'll do this time is that instead of starting from scratch, we will start with a few pre-built screens which are built on certain ideas. So there are different themes that we have already looked at and created different screens for you to get started. Obviously, you can make changes to them, and you can apply those changes and create your own versions of those screens. So to find all the pre-built screens, we will go to this option here called All Screens. Alright, so this All Screens drop-down has multiple sections. So we have saved sections, which are the screens that we create ourselves and save as our own screens. These are only visible to the person who created the screens. And then we have three different headers here: basic, premium, and FNO screens. FNO screens are also premium screens. We just have created a different category so that it's easier for you to find and load the screen relevant to you. The difference between basic and premium screens is basic screens use only basic filters. These filters are available to everybody, and premium screens use premium filters which are available to our pro subscribers and is part of their subscription. Users who are not pro subscribers will not be able to use premium filters, and that's why we have categorized them as basic screens so that everyone has access to certain starting points regardless of their subscription status for Tickertape. If you click on See All here, basically this gives you a complete list of all the screens that we have pre-built for you. So what we'll do is that we'll quickly go through few of these screens to understand the process behind, let's say, screening using Tickertape Screener. And then we will see how we can expand on this and what all we can do with the screen results. So let's start with Money Minters. This is one of our oldest screen which has been updated on a regular basis, and this is something that is very, let's say, popular amongst a lot of our users. So whenever you select a screen in any of the three views, you see a description of the screen. Obviously, this description has been entered by us, but let's say if you were to create a custom screen yourself, you can also enter the description there, and all of that will be updated here as well. So we'll go through the description in detail. Just want to highlight the different, let's say, elements on this page. Applied filters are the filter set which the screen consists of. So you remember last time we discussed that the screen is the filter set that you see here, right? This is what the screen is, and this entire area, the results pane, is calculated based on the filter set that you define for a screen. So Money Minters is this. This is calculated. So description is companies good at quickly turning around cash to generate profits due to low or negative cash conversion cycles. A lot of words, but basically this defines a theme on the basis of which we have selected these filters and selected the ranges or values for these filters. Last time we also discussed that there can be certain filters which can be applied to a screen, meaning that they have a range or a value selected. And there are certain filters which are not really applied, but they are projected, or you can call them selected filters. So these filters, though they will be visible in the columns, they do not contribute to screening. They are just for FYI purposes, that these columns also we want to track. So I think easiest way would be to load the screen, and then we will discuss what is happening here. So I loaded Money Minters. It's a pre-built screen, and it got loaded here. So you'll see all the different filters got auto-populated according to the configuration that the screen had, and all my columns also got populated. P ratio and close price, as mentioned, are not applied filters, but they are selected or projected filters. So you'll see P ratio column here. You'll see close price column here, but they don't have any range. So they are not contributing in any screening activity for this result set. Now let's quickly understand what is happening here. Let's go back to Money Minters. So we are looking at companies which have either very low or negative cash conversion cycle, and they are able to generate profits quickly, right? So cash conversion cycle is basically a metric which determines how much time does it take a company to generate cash from its operating activity. So that's a very simple explanation, but think of it in a way where, let's say I am a company and I have a few suppliers and I have a few customers, right? So I have to pay the suppliers and I have to take money from the customers for whatever goods I'm selling to them. The cash conversion cycle is the difference between when I pay to the supplier and when I receive from the customer. If it's negative, means I'm getting money first from the customer and then later I'm paying to my supplier. This is obviously a desirable thing because I'm getting money in advance and then I'm paying, let's say, in a lagged manner to my supplier. For certain industries, it will be the other way around, in which I have to pay the supplier first and then later I receive money from my customers. In that case, cash conversion cycle will be positive. But in the case where I get money first from the customer and then pay it out to my supplier, the cash conversion cycle would be negative. So let's look at cash conversion cycle. And it's sorted by cash, so I can change the sorting as well. But in this case, let's sort it by the lowest first. So what you will notice is that for a lot of these companies, the cash conversion cycle is more or less tied to the industry as well. So it depends on what relationship that industry or sector has with its suppliers on an average and with its customers on an average. So obviously there will be differences between the participants in the same industry or same sector, but overall the trend would be that particular sectors let's say CCC or cash conversion cycle would tend towards a certain range, towards negative or towards high positive, because of the characteristics of the sector. So if we were to look at, let's say, pharma here, so we have two pharma stocks filtering in. We have conversion cycles of, let's say, about 24 to 47 for these two companies. So what does it indicate is that they have to first pay to their suppliers, right? And the money from their customers comes later. So this is the characteristic of the pharma industry. If we were to look at, let's say, in this case, business support services. Now it has a negative cash conversion cycle. What it means is that we are getting our revenue in advance of paying to our suppliers. Or whatever our cost is, the cash flow for our cost is happening after our inflow from our customers. Maybe this is a case of where we have advanced, let's say, contracts in place where the payment is happening, but our payment to our supplier or our costs are happening in a different cycle. So I have basically some buffer between receiving and giving out cash to my supplier. Now we wanted to, let's go back to the description of Money Mentors again. We wanted to also at the same time look at companies which generate profits, right? So obviously what it means is that our cash flow growth is the metric that we have used here. The 5-year historical operating cash flow growth is greater than 10%, which you can see here. The OCF is operating cash flow, and we have set the metric as greater than 10% to whatever the highest number in the range is. Cool. Now say we want to look at certain other metrics as well in order to temper our result set. What it means is that we also have to apply certain sanity to the result set that is coming in. So we have used quick ratio here. So let's go to the filter pop-up and very quickly pull up quick ratio. And let's see what the definition says. In case you're not familiar with any of the filters applied on this page, we can always go to add filters and just search for that filter and see what the description is. Obviously, you can learn more about it by Googling, but this is a very quick primer into what this ratio does. So quick ratio basically is an indicator of how quickly the company can convert its current assets or readily available assets apart from inventory to cover its current liabilities, meaning immediately applicable liabilities, right? So we talked about cash conversion cycle being low. We talked about operating cash flow growth being high. But if all said, if my quick ratio were very low, then it might be possible that if something, let's say, untoward happens or something goes wrong, I might not even be able to pay my liabilities very quickly if something wrong happens. So we have added this as a sanity filter just to make sure that we filter out those companies which might be at the risk of, or potential risk of, not being able to fulfill their current liabilities. So they should have enough current assets minus the inventory bit in order to fulfill their current obligations. And market cap is, let's say, filter we put in to only look at companies of a certain size. You will also see that we have excluded certain sectors. To do that, we have selected all the other sectors apart from certain sectors that we didn't want to look at. So this set of filters now explains your Money Mentor screen. Cool. So this should be clear. Now let's look at a simpler screen near 52-week lows. So let me load this first. There you go. Near 52-week lows is loaded. Now let's look at the description. Fundamentally strong stocks near their 52-week lows. This is very simple to understand. We want to look at stocks which are, fundamentally, well to do with, but at this moment they are trading at their 1-year low, meaning that they are within a certain threshold, trading very close to in the last 1 year wherever their stock price was lowest. So let's start with the 52-week low thing. That is the easiest thing to understand. So we have a filter called percentage away from 52-week low. Now this number is always going to be positive or equal to 0. So greater than equal to 0 are the only values that this number can have, obviously, right? You can't have negative percent away from 52-week low because that number will again become the 52-week low. So we want companies which are at max 20% away from their 52-week low. We could have changed this number to 10% as well, 15% as well. That depends on, let's say, how your outlook is and what kind of, let's say, close filtering you want to do. Next bit is we wanted to look at companies which are fundamentally strong. Now there is a whole lot of ways in which we can say that XYZ company is fundamentally strong versus ABC. But we have chosen two different metrics. One is return on equity and the other is historical revenue growth. So we have taken these two metrics to indicate fundamentally strong part of our screen thesis or screen theme, basically. 5-year historical revenue growth greater than 15 and 5-year average return on equity greater than 15%. Both are in percentage terms, obviously. Now, the reason we have taken 5 years number and not, let's say, a lower number is because we want to ensure that this is a consistent performance. It's not a one-off performance where your 1-year return is quite high and then you are screening based on that, and maybe you are not then be able to remove the, let's say, cyclical behavior of certain companies that certain industries exhibit. And to top it off, we have also included a market cap consideration to make sure that we avoid smaller stocks which might have other factors at play here. So these are established companies which have, historical revenue growth and return on equity averaged over 5 years, greater than 15% each, and they are within 20% from their one year low or 52-week lows. There you go. We got these 4 results. If I were to, let's say, change this number from 20 to 15%, let's look at the number here. There you go. Then this company will be basically removed. See? And if I were to make it 10%, then it got even more filtered. For now, 20% is what our pre-built screen is. Obviously, you can take these screens as is and you can modify or add your own thought process on top of it to create a screen that suits your viewpoint. These are the starting points. Cool. Let's move on to one more. Let's look at cash-rich small caps. All right, so the theme behind this screen, as you can read, is profitable small cap companies, meaning relatively smaller companies, with growing cash flow and earnings. This is also a simple enough theme. So we discussed Stock Universe in the last webinar. So let me load the screen first. Cash-rich small caps is loaded. So we discussed Stock Universe in the last webinar, where if we want to restrict our result set to any particular list of stocks, we use the Stock Universe. So we can either use one of the default Stock Universes. In this case, Nifty Small Cap 100 represents exactly what we are trying to filter out from. So the source list of stocks from which we want to filter out in this case is Nifty Small Cap 100. Or you can create your own custom universe by clicking on this. We discussed last time that you can link your watch list as well if you want to create a custom universe. But for this example, let's continue with Nifty Small Cap 100. And then we talked about, let me open the description again for everyone's benefit. So Stock Universe is done. We talked about growing cash flow and earnings. Right. So obviously, cash flow growth can be measured in different terms. So we have used operating cash flow growth. We have used EPS growth for growing earnings bit. And then just to make sure that we use certain sanity filters to ensure that certain, let's say, aberrations don't get filtered in, we have put in certain conditions as well that earnings per share should be positive. Because let's say we don't want to look at companies which are not profitable. So to address the profitability bit, my earnings per share has been set to being positive. My operating cash flow has also been set to be positive. This is also sanity filter. Think of it from this perspective that if my EPS were positive, my EPS growth was positive, my operating cash flow was growth was positive. But if my operating cash flow is negative, but still EPS is positive, then maybe there is something that is happening after factoring in operations, and let's say maybe from minority interest, maybe from let's say other kinds of cash flow as well. So I want to make sure that my cash flow is positive as well. So this is also a sanity filter that we want to include. And at the same time, we also want to include a net change in cash should be positive, meaning that at the start of the year, if my cash position was X, at the end of the year, it should be X plus Y. And that is how we say that the company is over time becoming cash rich. Cool. So as we loaded this filter, we got this company set, this result set. And if we want to make any changes, let's say I want to say that operating cash flow should be from here. I think I went too far. Then basically your company list will be populated. Cool. Now let's look at the fourth and the last example in the basic screens. We call it Wealth Emissaries. This is a brand new screen actually. We added it yesterday itself. We added Wealth Emissaries and Golden Geese, which we'll discuss shortly. So Wealth Emissaries, again, let's look at the description. So here we are talking about a different kind of theme. We're talking about what the companies do. We want to filter it through that. So our thesis here is that asset management companies, investment banks, and stock exchanges, which are expected to benefit from bull run in stock markets. This is quite self-explanatory, right? So we want to only look at intermediary, let's say, companies, which are providing a service to their customers or their users in these fields, which is asset management, investment banking, and stock exchanges, right? So what will we do? We will select these sectors in our sector selectors. So 3 subsectors selected, which are these 3 subsectors. We want to look at companies which have a significant market cap. Let's say we don't want to look at very small companies which might not benefit as much from, let's say, a bull run, because maybe most of the growth is being done by larger companies. And we want to look at percentage by reco. So let me load the screen and I will explain what percentage by reco is. All right. So in the last webinar, we discussed percentage by reco already, but let me just explain it from a completion perspective. So every company, not every company, but most companies are covered by different kinds of analysts who look at that company's fundamentals and growth prospects, and they give certain ratings on the companies, right? So they will say either it's a buy or a strong buy or a sell or a strong sell or neutral, which is hold, right? So what we do is that we calculate percentage by reco as a fraction of all the analysts covering that stock, who are saying either buy or strong buy. So if let's say 100 analysts are covering that stock, if let's say 60 of those 100 analysts say either buy or strong buy for this company, then 60% is the percentage by reco for that company, right? So we have added this filter and we have added a range of greater than 50%. Obviously this cannot go above 100%. So 50 to 100% is the range that we want to look at, and we want to look at companies who are involved in these 3 subsectors. Market cap is also a range that we have set, which should be greater than 3,000 crore. Cool. So now we have this result set that has come out. Great. Now let's say what happens if I want to create a copy of this pre-built screen, right? So all the screens that we have discussed so far, we just loaded those screens. We went to money minters, we loaded it. So we came to, let's say, wealth emissaries, we loaded it. Now what if I want to add one more filter? Let's do that. Let's go to profitability. Let's add return on equity. Let's make the percentage, let's say between, or let's say let's just make it greater than 10%. So this reduced my total result set. So if we reset this filter, we had 7 results. If we make it, let's say, greater than 15%, this becomes 5 results now. Now, this is something that I have added in addition to the filters that were there in the pre-built screen. So what if I want to save this as a screen, right? So I click on save. Now, what I'll say here is that this was created by me. So I will add a new ROE plus wealth emissaries, right? And I clicked on save. So this will now get saved in my saved filters. There you go. So if I, let's say, load some other screen, and if I go to saved section of the all screens drop down, I will see all the screens that I have saved in the past. If I click on it, my saved screen will be loaded, and you can see it's basically wealth emissary screen with my filter added here. Cool. All right. Now let's move on to premium screens. So as I said earlier, premium screens we have created as 2 subcategories. One are technical screens, which I will not go into in this webinar because this will become a very long discussion. So I'll leave that to you to explore a bit, understand about the filters that we have used. So I'm just going to go past them very quickly, but I will not explore them in detail. One thing that I will explore is Golden Geese. So again, this is a very interesting screen that we added yesterday itself. So it's brand new, and I really like this screen. So let me load this up. Now, as I mentioned earlier, that there are certain filters on Ticker Tape Screener which are basic or available to all, and certain filters are pro-only filters, for which you'll have to take a Ticker Tape Pro subscription. So any pre-built screen which is under the premium or the FNO screen header uses one of our premium filters. So you'll have to have a pro subscription for that. All right, so let's start with the thesis like previously. Golden Geese, high ROE companies with growing cash and earnings available at a discount. It's very easy to understand. All right, so we are looking at market cap less than greater than 5,000 because we want to look at let's say non-penny stocks. We are looking at return on equity, greater than 15%, historical revenue growth greater than 15%. So basically, we have discussed all these filters in the past. It's how you arrive at a combination of different filters to explain a theme is what screening is about. So you have to start off with a certain thesis as mentioned here, and then you have to keep on adding, let's say, filters. Obviously, you should not be adding 100 filters because you won't get a result set, and it also has to make sense. But in this case, one thing that I wanted to really discuss was available at a discount, right? So we talked about return on equity, revenue growth, talked about EPS growth. We talked about operating cash flow growth. All of this is good stuff, right? If all of this is increasing, my company is doing well. But it might be possible that these, let's say, metrics have been increasing, but the company is overvalued, right? So if I purchase stock for this company at an overvalued level, it might be possible that there will be correction in the future and the stock price will come down. So I should be looking at undervalued, let's say, stock if I want to pick up companies which will potentially have a price increase in the future. So we use PE premium versus sector. We discussed last time as well that PE premium versus sector determines whether the company is undervalued or overvalued. So PE is PE ratio, price to EPS, and premium, if it's positive, means it's trading at a higher multiple than what the sector average is. And if PE premium is negative, which is what we have put here, it means that it's trading at a discount to the sector average, means it's undervalued compared to the sector. So there we go, we load it. And this is the result set that we get. Few of these companies, many of you would recognize very, very easily. Many of you might even have a few of these companies in your watch lists. So just wanted to explain the premium versus sector filter here as well. All right, so we discussed all the basic screens. We discussed the premium screens. We discussed how you can create a copy of any of the pre-built screen and apply your own, let's say, filter set that you want to apply, any ranges that you want to change. And then you can basically save it as your own screen as well. You can either start from scratch. This is the default screen a screen is, or you can start with one of the pre-built screens. You can make changes to it and save it as your own screen. That doesn't cost you anything. Okay, so now we will move on to what actions you can perform on all the screening that you're doing, right? So you have applied filters, you've gotten a result set. Now what you do with this result set is what is interesting now, right? Because either I take this list and I go back and I transact on them one by one, or I can do it at one go as well. So for that, we have a multi-select tool. I click on this plus icon here, and this converts into a multi-select tool. Let's say that Avanti feeds and let's say granules, I want to add to my watch list. So I'll just click on add to watch list, and both these stocks now got added to my watch list. I think you didn't see the message where it said it got added to the watch list because my screen is a bit truncated right now. But Avanti Feeds and Granules India is now added to my watch list. Now let's say I wanted to transact on, let's say all of them. There you go. So now we have 9 companies that we want to transact on, right? There are different ways in which you can do. One way that we really like, and it's something that makes our life so much more easier, is to create a small case. Now, I'm pretty sure that all of you have heard about what a small case is, but if not, let me just give you a very brief demo of how investing using a basket of stocks makes things so much more easier for you. So let's say we click on create small case. We have come to the small case platform where all the 9 stocks have been added to my small case. Small case is a basket of securities, right? In this case, all of them are stocks. So in this case, we are creating a basket of stocks. Let's name it my webinar small case. And my webinar small case is created. I can assign different weights to different stocks in my small case. Let's say I change my weights. Obviously, the sum has to be 100%. And when I change the weights, my minimum investment amount is also changing, right? Because let's say if I change the weight for a stock which has, let's say, higher price, right? So what will happen is basically the weights change in a certain ratio. I think I locked these. And my minimum investment amount changes such that obviously you can't buy fractional stocks. There are different other weighing schemes that you can choose here as well. Equiveighted is where, since we have 9 stocks, 11.11% is what each stock is getting, and then my minimum investment amount is such and such. Now to invest, you just click on invest now. So in this example, this is smallcase.zerodha.com, and when I click on invest now, basically this small case will be created, will be purchased using my Zerodha Ledger account as one basket in one click. So this is how you can create a small case and invest in this small case from Screener. Let's say if you wanted to, let's say, go back to Screener and screen for something new, just click on find stocks on Screener and we're back to Ticketing. All right, let's go back to our Golden Geese example. And let's say if I wanted to see details about any of these stocks, let's say Granules, I'd click on Granules. It's the brief snapshot of Granules India. And if I click on detailed view, I go to the full stock page for Granules, where I can see forecast, financials, peers, holdings, news and events, all of which we have covered in previous videos. One thing I just wanted to mention, just because you guys are here, we launched quarterly financials last night. So if you want to analyze growth and margin views for quarterly as well as annual, you can head over to financials and change your time period view accordingly. Cool. So that is what I wanted to cover. We have covered all the different aspects of Screener, starting from filter pane to results pane to custom stock universe to sector application. We also covered custom filters. We have covered all the different pre-built screens. We have covered saved screens, and we have covered how you can select different stocks that you want to transact in, and you can create a small case. And as I mentioned here, just click on invest now and you can complete your investment process. So from screening to transaction, it's all here. So that's all for this episode of our webinar series. We covered Screener pre-built screens and transaction. In the next one, we will talk about index and ETF pages in detail. There are a few very interesting things that would love to point out to you guys. And the final 7th episode in this series will finish off with portfolio insights that you'd have seen on Zerodha Console. So that's a lot for this video, I guess. But thanks a lot for your time, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.